Once again, it's time for Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that guy right there is Roy. Roy, you have our topic for today, but first, please hit like, please hit subscribe. We appreciate everybody who comes and visits us and gives us a little thumbs up. Roy, what's our topic of the day?
Hey, what we're talking about today, we're going around the bases with the Yankees. They're the topic of conversation. So we're going to go a little bit around the bases and talk about what they could have done, should have done, wish they would have done. So we're going to start off with first base. First base, Yankees had Rizzo, Anthony Rizzo. So do you think Anthony Rizzo declined that much, was that much of a liability that they shouldn't have, because he's still on the hook for $6 million. They're going to have to pay him that to technically make him go away. Mm-hmm. But should we have kept him or do just like they did, let him go? We can use that. I think it was $17 million, much better.
Yeah, I think his defense was great, right? But we brought him in there because he was a lefty. We have that short right porch. And that part just didn't work out. His slugging just never worked out. He wasn't even a consistent getter, getting on base. I was fine letting him go. Probably more because of the pieces that we'll be able to keep and add to the rotation. I think we've got a lot of young talent that I don't want to see go by the wayside just because they're not lefties. I think we get stuck in that a little bit.
Okay. I agree with you. For the money,
yeah.
No one can say that Rizzo doesn't have a good glove. No one can say that he wasn't a great baseball player. And he is. But for the money, for what the money is getting us, for the player he had become, and we know we had injuries and stuff like that, but the 2-year window, it really was a downside. Because if you look at the game, if we use the World Series and just say first base, we did not get from Rizzo the caliber of player that he once was in the middle of his career was. We didn't even get a portion of that. So we said, if we lost the World Series, that was a factor. That was a chip that went down our check on the Dodger side because we didn't get that. We didn't get, he's kind of a little bit of lumbers to the bases. Catches the ball, great. Did he have some throughout the year, some little mishandles and all that? Yes. Listen, you're getting hit with the ball's getting hit your way. But do we want to take that money and go by wayside of just saying, hey, we're going to use it on him and get the same result? I say no. We say thank you and we let it go. Unless he was going to sign for $6 million, then I would say, okay, $6 million. But even then, we got to be careful.
Yeah, and I get it. The Yankees like names, the Yankees like prestige, and the Yankees like guys who have done it before. However, what I say is, I saw a never before first baseman, Cabrera. I wasn't missing Rizzo out there. He was making plays. He was using his feet. He's an athlete. That kid is an athlete. We just put him. Anytime we have a hole, we go, hey, Cabrera, get in there. And he's like, I got you. Oswaldo's like, yeah. You ever play first base? He's like, I got a glove. Just throw it to me. I'll catch it. It's cool.
Yeah. I give it to you. I'm with you. And we had a kid that came up, Ben Rice, came up. He threw a spark, big kid, just like Judge. So again, so we both agree that Rizzo really had to be let go for money reasons, right?
Right.
So what could we do? What we could do? You said, hey, we have Oswaldo. Yes. Birdie took it. Yes. I'm not saying that they're going to be the everyday first basemen, but we saw something there. My thought is we got Ben Rice showing glimmers of hope, So what could we do? Let's look at some free agents. We'll be real brief on this. The big person that they're talking about, 34-year-old Christian Walker. The problem with him, great player. Problem with him, he got a qualifying offer. That means you got to give him 21 million or more.
Right.
You have after that, Pete Alonso, qualifying offer again.
Right.
You got the man who I like, who's third on the list, who is old as dirt, but we're not looking for a future player. I think we have that in Ben
Right.
Rice or someone else because, hey, let's be real. Judge can't run out there all his life. He may need to be in first base. We don't know. He's big as what, you're going to miss him throwing the ball to him at first? I don't think
Right.
so. But Ben Rice and him are monsters, big guys. But let's just say Ben Rice is the future. The guy I like is a Carlos Santana. Carlos Santana. He is older. He is 39 years old. But when it looks on the list of players, he would be cheap. One, very cheap for us. I would say possibly he can be 6 million, in money or something like that. It could be that we just stopgap. Let's say give him a 1-1, meaning sign him for a contract and then have a team option. And if he does, man, he's doing good. Give him that option for the future. See, he may even be a switch batter.
Here's my thing though. I feel like we got a lot of guys that we could put at first because we forget about VJ LeMahieu. You know what I mean? And what we can possibly do there. I'll put it this way. If we're going to be giving $6 million to somebody who's not on our roster right now, I'd rather add that $6 million to another position and get an upgrade at a different position and keep Oswaldo or Ben Rice or whoever we're going to put there at first base. I do not think that we should spend a lot of money on first base right now because the other positions that we want to fill, if we fill them correctly, I think they're going to take us farther than whatever we're going to do at first base. I think that first base one, you can fill with a lot of different people. And, to me, if you're asking me what's the least spot you're worried about, I'd go first base.
Yeah, I think the thing is, yeah, first base maybe has a little bit of a less of a thing, but we need a bat. We need someone to be consistent. We need, Santana hits both sides, like I was correct. He hits both sides. He had a decent year this year. I think you get the cheap, right? You bring up Ben Rice. You kind of see what you got in the future. You just need a bat, both sides that can get you cheap and go. But again,
you know why I'm not on board? It's because our base running all year, probably last year too, was horrible. Our base running is horrible. And it's because we don't have speed. Torres was not a speedy guy. Rizzo, not a speedy guy. Stanton, not a speedy guy. Aaron Judge, compared to them, Aaron Judge is flying on the bases. And I'm like, slow down, Aaron, because I don't want you to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would rather Cabrera over there, because if he gets on bat, and I think, to me, Cabrera and Ben Rice, they need time on task. They need to play. I think last year when Cabrera was playing, I think it was third, right? When he was consistently playing third, he was getting better and better and better and better. And I think it was just being out there and seeing more pitches. I think that's a kid. If we're going to utilize him, he needs playing time. And I think Ben Rice, same thing. I think when he started getting on his groove, all of a sudden we started to try and work, some other first baseman in, and it threw him off. Put him in for long stretches and let him ride.
All right, first base. Now, second base, Gleyber Torres. Should we have signed Gleyber Torres? We did not give him a qualifying offer, which was $21 million. If we gave him a qualifying offer, he would have took it.
Yeah.
Should we have signed? He was in first base slot in August. He started to warm up. We saw some, really when it came to a bat in the World Series, he was better than Judge. You think about some of these games, it was
Yeah.
him, uh, Soto, Stanton. Everybody else
Right.
was kind of, had sparks, but nobody was consistent like him. Should we have signed him to a long
No.
term?
No. I like Gleyber Torres. Um, but for all the things that I like, and I like his bat and he's always been steady. And what, 2 years ago, he rode us through the roughest patch that we were at the Yankees at the time when Stanton and Judge were both down, and we piecemealed it together. Glabe stepped up. The problem is, if you're going to be a leadoff guy, you got to have more contact and you got to be faster because we need you to come in. We need you to stay your bases. We need you to be a disruptor. I know that Volpe's bat kind of diminished this year a little bit, but he is exactly the guy you want at that leadoff spot. He's bouncing off the bag. He's dancing, and that speed on the bags really, really matter. Specifically, when you have bigger guys who are not running as fast, you want to make sure that it's not a double play. Whatever it is, what it ain't is a double play. And when you have Gleyber Torres out there, it's a lot of double plays and a lot of base running errors that I know a lot of people were saying, oh, well, he was being sent. Is because they thought he had the gear to get there and he just didn't have it. And for that reason, I'm like, listen, the Yankees, we do have a lot of prospects at shortstop and second base. We got that covered, I feel.
All right. So I feel we needed to get rid of him for the reason is he had been conversations too long. And I think a little bit of he got into his head. One time
Maybe.
Boone even pulled him and they had video of him talking to Boone. You got to be when you're in the MLB, you got to professional sports in general. You got to understand this is a business. It's out to win. And if they feel that you're in any way hindering that process, bro, they're going to mess you up. They're going to pull you out. They're going to, and look at Oswaldo. This is a guy who's getting thrown around left and right.
That's right.
And the guy comes in. So I say we should have got rid of Gleyber just for that reason that, hey, let's stop yanking your chain. Let's get rid of you. Let's find someone out there. Who could be out there? My thought is Jazz. Jazz is a second baseman. He's played. You could see him play third. I think he needs to play second base. It's, if LeMahieu's going to come back healthy, he needs to flip over to third. Less running for him in regards to first, third. He's good. So I say Jazz Chisholm, Oswaldo Cabrera. I think that should be our second baseman. Don't worry about picking anybody up. I think that needs to be, see what happens. One playing second, one playing third, one playing second, one is resting, whatever it is. But that needs to be our second baseman. Oswaldo.
I don't know if we still have Cabrera, the other Cabrera. I forget what his name is. We didn't see him this year, I don't believe.
Not sure. I know Pereira is out there, Everson Pereira.
No, it was a Cabrera. We might have traded him. I don't remember, but yes, I agree with you that would work. Jazz, Jazz almost has too much arm for second. He's gunning it, and the guy's standing right there. So, I could see that happening.
Yeah. All right, let's go to shortstop. Do we do something with shortstop?
No, I keep him. His glove, he's rangy. And we would love to get more hitting out of him. I think it's going to come in time, but in big spots, he knew how to play it, and he wasn't afraid of the big moments. And sometimes you need that more than anything else. You know what I mean? You need that guy with that fire in your belly. I love the way he plays. I love his attitude. I'd keep Volpe and just keep working with him. That's all. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because right now when you look at the depth chart, they got first base. Yankees have first base, DJ and Oswaldo. Second base, they got Oswaldo and Jazz Chisholm. Shortstop, they got Oswaldo and Volpe.
And Volpe,
So Oswaldo's been everywhere.
the
He's
Swiss
the
Army knife.
Swift Army knife. So Volpe, shortstop, I don't think they're going to do anything with shortstop. Let's
No.
talk about third base. Who do you think the Yankees have on third base? Do you think they need to go with what they got, rolling, or they need to look at free agency?
That I think that we might need to bring one in. And it's interesting because for some reason, third base has been our Achilles heel since we let Urshela go, or maybe even during that time of Gio, because Gio kind of was there by default, because of Donaldson. You know what I mean? Uh, it's interesting how we have not been able to get that right, and how much different things would have been. Because before we got Donaldson, we had lined up Olsen from the A's. And then the strike happened. And so that deal was put on hold. And when we came back from the strike, he decided to go to Atlanta. Atlanta is where he went, right?
Yeah, but
And
Olson's a first baseman. A's was Chapman was on the
Chapman,
A's.
excuse me. Chapman is what I meant. You're right. So Chapman, that's what we were going to get. And then, he ended up going to Atlanta. So it's interesting how we just have not been able to nail that down. Um, I don't know who's out there, but I do think that's something that they should look into.
Well, I don't think third base is, even though I would like to pick this up. Alex Bergman from the Astros, he received a qualifying offer. So that means, are you going to pay him $21 million a year? That's the problem. And that's what some of these teams do is they give a qualifying offer and say, hey, well, you're going to have to, if you're going to go high to beat them, to beat us, Astros.
Right.
I think he ends up back with the Astros. I would like to get Alex Bergman. I think he's 31, just a solid player. We don't need him long. Give him 4 or 5 years. Maybe I call it a 3-2 mean 3 years solid, contract with a 1-year team option. You know what I mean? After that on the fourth, that means, he'll be older, but I think the Yankees are going to do something at third. We've heard so much. Every player out there, we've heard trade rumors. Arenado, they talked about. I think the Yankees are going to do something for third base. If they don't do third base, first base, one of those. I don't think they're going to do both.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm always on the left, do the left side strong. But they're going to do something. If they don't do first, then if they do first, they're going to keep, let's say, maybe possible Chisholm on third and then do something with second. They've been talking about bringing a Yankee guy, I think it's Durbin from the Yankees team, minor leagues. They've been talking about him, a guy maybe. But I think third or first, the Yankees are going to do something. Yeah, third or first. I don't think both, but I do think third or first. Right now on the depth charts.
And I'd be fine, by the way, with Chisholm at third. I thought he did really well over there. I loved his glove. I loved his range. I loved how he threw the ball. I have no problem with Jazz over there at third.
He looks
So
He looks comfortable. He looked
yeah,
comfortable. Right now, third base, what do they got? LeMahieu, Oswaldo again, and Chisholm. So I do think maybe LeMahieu goes to first. That will give him some, time. Problem is he's got to hit, and then go Chisholm at second, get a third baseman. They could do that, Let's go to left field. Guess who's in left field also? Oswaldo Cabrera. Amazing. And they have Aaron Judge and Dominguez. I don't think Dominguez, I think Dominguez, they're going to rotate a little bit. I think Aaron Judge is going to have to learn how to play left field, especially with Soto in the right. If the Yankees sign him, I see the outfield right now, left field being Aaron Judge's corner and he's going to have to learn how to play it. And think about it, man, having a gun from there, who's going to try to even run home? I think that's a perfect fit. I think Dominguez is going to play center field where he's been playing. I think that's where he's going to be playing. We haven't. So again, when you look at left field, Dominguez, Aaron Judge, Oswaldo, center field, Dominguez, Aaron Judge, Oswaldo, and Trent Grissom, which every now and then he's got 1 year after this. We're going to keep him. He shows sparks. He's a lefty. He shows sparks. Dominguez, switch hitter, Oswaldo, switch hitter. So I think we're going to go with that. The only way we do something different that mixes up this whole is if Soto gets signed. That means Soto's in the right hand, right, or doesn't get signed, meaning if he doesn't get signed, then Judge goes back to right. Dominguez is going to come up. And you know how I feel about Dominguez. I think we should have traded him and get some solid stuff for him. But he's going to come up. Oswaldo and Trent. Now, if Soto does not sign, like I said, they're going to do a third or a first. The Yankees will go for an outfielder. They're not going to mess around. They're going to go out for a left fielder or someone who's out there who can hit, and make it happen. Right now they're talking about signing Soto. So we got the outfield. Let's go to the right field, which is Soto. Or let's go to designated hitter first. Stanton is in there, right? Designated hitter.
I don't think we can get him out of there. And we've got so many people in AAA, AAA ball or, 1A ball that we could bring up that we could rotate. And I'd be, if let's just say Stanton wasn't there, I think what you would see is Judge rotate to DH, Grisham come up, rotate out. You'd see Dominguez. You might even see the kid. What's the other kid's name?
Well, Pereira plays outfield. Everson Pereira, he plays outfield.
Spencer Jones, right?
Spencer Jones, if he can make the cut, make it around. Spencer Jones. Yeah. I think with Stanton is there.
Ben Rice, you know what I mean, in that DH spot.
That would be nice. Give him some reps. Yeah. Catcher, we know what we got. I don't think, we got Trevino right now. We got Wells. I think they're going with Wells. They want him to get better. I think as a catcher, I like how he's framing the ball. He's playing a lot of baseball. I think he just needs to see the ball a little better. I think changing and maybe messing with his stand a little better may help. But he is our catcher of the future. We're not going nowhere.
For the end of the season, he got hot. He was swinging that ball great. And first postseason, mess with you a little bit. You know what I mean? And you're getting everybody's best pitchers, and this is the cream. So I think he's going to be good. I liked his presence. I liked his mustache. I liked how settled he was for a catcher. So I'm happy with our catchers, and I like Torino. I think he's solid. He comes up and plays big. Whenever you need him to go in there, he's fine. He don't care. When do you want me in there? Yeah, I'm in there. You know what I mean? And faster than you think he is. You know what I mean? He's a scamper. So I think we're good on catcher right now.
Right field, Soto. Let's talk a little bit about Soto.
Okay.
And I'll give you my feelings on Soto. Do we sign Soto? Is he the right field? Listen, you could say he made Judge better this year. He gave Judge more confidence this year, even though if Judge was half the player he was in regular season in the playoffs, man, it could have been different. But listen, this is the first time being in the World Series. Soto has been in the World Series.
Right.
So do we sign Soto? One Newsweek is reporting says two Yankees AL East rivals make impressive pitch to a $658 million star. Do the Yankees go $658 million to sign Soto? Do you sign Soto? Yes or not? Yes or no?
I think I say yes. And the teams that they're talking about were I know one of them was Toronto. So when I thought about that, what gives me pause is that there's a lot of the Dominican team in Toronto, the Dominican national team, up there with Vladdy and all those guys. So I think we sell out to get him. I think he covers up a lot of holes that we have. And I think that we did not even see the best version of Judge and Juan Soto together this year. Because we got to remember, kind of Judge was kind of steady all year, right? But that beginning part was slow, then he ramped it right on up, and it was kind of a steady stream. Soto was up and down. Soto was up and down. It takes a little adjustment. You know what I mean? It takes New York City takes an adjustment. You know what I mean? How you get to work, what you do after work, where you go, where people are, interacting with people. So it takes a little bit of an adjustment. I think that Soto's now settled in. I think he's coming back. I think if you told Soto right now, yeah, they're giving you 658, we're going to give you 650. I think he takes the $8 million cut to come back. And I think the Yankees should bring him back, because if you can get Soto back, you already brought back Cole. And what you're going to get out of Schmidt and Gill this year, I think those two guys are going to be battling it out for who our actual ace is. And you heard me say it. I think they're going to be our aces. I think it's going to be Gill, but I think one of them is going to be our ace. And if we're getting that kind of production out of those two young guys, and then we have Cole and Rendon, I think you're going to see a little bit of a different trajectory for the Yankees. I don't think you're going to see this up and down, up and down, up and down. I think you're going to see a steady climb, lose maybe one or two, and then climb to, that type of a steadiness in the year. But it all starts with Soto and getting that guy back, because he makes Judge better. And because you have to pitch to Judge, that pitching makes Giancarlos better, because he sees what you're doing, and Judge and Giancarlos you really have to attack them almost the same way. And so that makes Giancarlos better. So I think it's all reciprocal right there in the middle.
So you're saying sign Soto 600, 630, 650?
What is 650 divided?
But you're saying do what it takes to sign Soto. Let's not get into the numbers. Do what it takes. 12
Yes.
years. Okay.
Yes, man.
Now I'm going to talk.
We're the New York Yankees. Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you this question before I get into Soto. Well, let's talk about the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at that. Who dropped the ball in center?
Judge.
He dropped the ball. Who did not run to first?
Cole.
Who threw the ball to third and Chisholm did not catch it?
Volpe.
Who might have made some pulling pitchers out, maybe prematurely putting the wrong pitcher in? Who did that?
That was Aaron Boone, yeah.
Okay. And I'm not going to get in. And really, who didn't swing the bat like he should have?
Aaron Judge.
And we could say Wells, and we could say Verduga, right? Verduga, right?
Right.
You can say that. And me saying that, if some of those things might have changed, could we be wearing a ring right now?
Absolutely.
I think so. I think the Dodgers are a good team. Would
Yes.
I have put Cortez to pitch? No, I wouldn't have. Uh, to Freeman, I probably would have brought somebody else in. But it is what it is. Would I left Cole in this part, bring him in, whatever it is. What I'm bringing up is I like Soto. I think we should have got Soto when he had 2 years to his contract. I think we should have made the trades then. I don't know why we made the trade with only 1 year on his contract. If you're going to make it when you have 2. I think the Yankees would love to have him back. Would I like to have him back? Yes, I would. But when we look at the World Series, did Soto not hit? No, he hit. Did
Mm-hmm.
Soto catch balls out there? Yeah, he caught balls.
Made
So
plays, big plays.
there was nothing wrong with that side of the field.
No.
But can he win the World Series for you alone? No, he can't. So my thought is, we already have a long-term contract with Judge. 5 more years with I think it's Stanton at least 5, Cole still 5. We have some big contracts. And even if we have Soto, we lost the World Series.
You made a good point. But the difference between and why Soto is a better signing than Aaron Judge.
That I would agree. I would agree that, but it's too late. We have Judge on contract. It's too late.
It's because he's 5 years younger.
It's
and
true.
Much less susceptible to injury. He's a better signing than than Judge and Ohtani for that same reason, because they're both older and they're both susceptible to injury. So you sign them to longer contracts, but their prime is this big. But you're signing Soto to a long contract, and he's going to run through his prime all the way to the end of that 12-year contract. So if you want to get the most out of the first contract you signed with Aaron Judge, this is the best way to get the most out of that contract. That's the problem.
I see what you're saying, but my thought is this. And I'm just saying, let's say trades, free agency. Let's just say that. And I'm just going to use free agency. Let's just say we went and said, you know what? We're going to sign stinking Snell as a pitcher. Wow, Snell. Let's even say maybe we could get him a little bit on the cheaper end. Maybe we say Verlander. He's 42. Snell and Verlander, right? We trade off Cortez. We trade off another pitcher, somebody. Maybe we bring in a third baseman, or we say, screw it. We're going to sign a first baseman. We're going to sign Walker. Who they talk about Walker from the Diamondbacks. Okay, we sign him for 5 years. Man, that will give us a 20 home run hitter at least. Then you go, well, I'm going to go to Bergman. That's another 20 home run corners. The infield is solid. Let's just say for 5 years. You put Judge back to where he was on right field. You got Dominguez in center field. I'm still going to go for a left fielder or something like that's out there. They're talking about Corey Bellinger, maybe. Put Dominguez in left, Corey Bellinger in the center field. Oh my, again, another. So you got I just signed my first baseman. He's older, but I got him for 5 years. Bergman, he's 31. He's just like Judge. Don't think he's too old. He's Judge's age on third base. So that means any mistake on third base, any mistake on first base is solid for 5 years. Then I'm going to go for another sticking pitcher. Rodon is not a second starter. He's at best a third to fourth starter. We need that. We got Cole in our first. We get Snell. Snell, he started off slow. Then he started to fire up. Again, could we get Snell? I'm not just there's other play.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but Roy, let's talk about how many times we've done that. That exact thing that you're talking about, we've done it. Let's bring in Aaron Hicks and we've done these mid-tier guys who we hoped were just all we hoped out of these guys is just be the guy you were. Right? That's all we wanted. Donaldson, just be the guy you were. Verdugo, just be the guy you were. We don't need you to do anything crazy. Just be yourself. So we've done this several times. We brought in what's the guy who I almost feel bad for him because it went so badly for him.
Oh, Joey Gallo.
Gallo, just be you, Joey. And just New York. I think the pressure of New York just crumbled Joey Gallo. We've done all those things before. So when you get a young guy who comes in and eats this city alive and says, man, this is my team. That man, that you can't put a price tag on that. We have proof of concept that Juan Soto can come here and do it. All those other guys you're talking about, man, we're talking about hopefully, maybe if he comes in and he can give us 20, yeah, that would be nice.
Listen, think about it. Think about this. Let me just ask you this. And I'm not a Pete Alonso fan. I think he gets too hurt, but he's a good bat. He, defensively, but how many home runs will Pete Alonso give? 20?
Right.
20?
More than.
Let's just say, this is the thing. Soto elevates the team, but he cannot bring it. Think about this. If you had a pitcher like Snell, right? Let's just say, and he pitched like he was doing towards the end of the year, he was pitching. How many do you think we would have won more? Again, let's just go back to the World Series. Do you think we could have won the World Series?
We would have won more.
Let's just say, just add it Snell and had Soto. Just add it Snell and keep everything the same. Could we have won that? Could we?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe because he could have locked out another game, maybe at Dodger Stadium, right? I think so. Maybe. So I'm saying that all these little mistakes had nothing to do with Soto. Even before Soto came to the Yankees the year before, you know what I mean? Judge had a record-breaking home run year without Soto. Right. What I'm saying is I would love Soto. I'm not willing to give the farm, the house, the maid, the land for him, even at 26 years old that he's coming into the season. I'm willing, and I think that's what Steinbrenner is going to say. You know us. You know what we're willing to do this, but we cannot sacrifice the farm. If you're willing to do this, we can sign you. If you want more than this, I think that's what the conversation said. And goes, we can't and we won't, but we need to know. And I bet you they gave him a deadline to say, listen, we just need to know. You can talk to all the other teams, but we just need to be fair with us. I hope the Yankees don't sign him because I think, yes, he'd be great TV, but I can bet you we can just, with that money, I say no to Soto, no to Soto, no Soto. That's what I say.
Listen, it's nice to talk about. Here's the thing. We could try to do that, right? But what you're doing is potentially putting Aaron Judge's best years, right? Which we're hoping we're in it. We're in his best years run right now.
Yes.
Last year, this year, boom, boom, boom. You know, we're hoping that run goes 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are trying to capitalize on that. Number 2, players are not going to get cheaper. I understand that $650 million is an absurd amount of money for a player. However, the next big player to come, let's say we wait for fill in the blank, Ronald Acuna Jr. to come up in 2 years. Atlanta can't handle his contract, and he's out there in free agency. He wants to be a Yankee. You think when he comes up, he's not getting 750 in 2 years? That's what he's going to get. These things are not going down, man. That's the issue. So for me, to lock up a guy, his first 2-3 years, Juan Soto is going to be crazy expensive. You're like, wow, this is an expensive contract. year 3 hits, somebody else is going to be getting paid. And then they're going to go, well, they're close to where Soto's at or above him. And then the next guy gets played. And now Aaron Judge's contract is a deal. You know what I mean? That's how it works. So I say lock it up. Guys, tell us what you think, because this is a situation that's coming down the track. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be resolved this year. All right, guys, go ahead and put in the comments what you think, what you want to happen. Like and subscribe. Roy, tell them what they should do.
Always talk to a stranger about sports today.